When I realized this, it was a game changer, and it took my manifestation from being spotty to manifest consistently and fast everything that I want. Do you want to find out as well? It's super easy, so stick to this video. Hello everyone, my name is Neyah, and on this channel we talk about manifestation, esotericism, and so much more. And on Patreon I do make extra videos and weekly content. The link is down below, as well as for my other services. So let's get started with today's video. Now, this is not common news in the sense of your thoughts shape and create your own reality. This is because of the first hermetic principle of mentalism in terms of esoteric knowledge. If you want to know more about the laws of the universe, you can check my videos, the 7 laws or principles of the universe, and how to master all your realities. You find that on my channel. So if you're not member, subscribe and watch my videos. But also, what we know about the law and mentalism in and of itself is that at the end of the day, it's a law based on the recent science, is a law based on quantum physics, and is a law based on cubism, which is a branch of quantum physics. I will make another video about this, and I have a webinar dedicated to it. So long story short, we know that our thoughts create our own reality. But sometimes, even when we know the theory of something, doesn't immediately translate into practicing or into mastering what we know. Sometimes experience teaches us, and sometimes we need to find our own personal way to manifest, which I always invite you to do. Sorry, my cats are arguing in the background, but don't worry. So here's the thing. We know that thoughts create reality, but the brain works with the familiar. And this is something that even Dr. Joe Dispenza actually teaches, and is where I learned it from. When I realized this, my manifestation, like I said in the intro, they came from being spotty, so getting here and there what I wanted, to consistently always manifesting what I wanted and consistently understanding why. And it's this simple. Guys, you need to start thinking greater than how you feel. Is that simple? Many people will suggest you to just ignore your present circumstances. And why that is true is because our reality is a mirror. And being a mirror, even though it has a slight delay, the mirror reality between what we're thinking in correlation to what we're thinking, there is a slight delay. The delay can actually be shortened if you just understand this. When you wake up in the morning, especially, and also when you go to bed, usually these are the two important factors when it comes down to manifestation, which is also what Neville Goddard used to say. Usually people go to bed thinking about the problems that they had during the day, or reflecting upon whatever circumstances they're dealing with. So maybe it's a love circumstance, or maybe perhaps it's a money circumstance. It doesn't really matter, but usually we have a tendency to drift off to sleep with a certain state of mind. And because the brain, it doesn't shut down, but our subconscious mind takes over and our conscious mind goes to sleep, usually you will notice that as soon as you wake up in the morning, you are going to start thinking about the familiar. You're going to start thinking about the same problems that you have slept upon. So many times also things that you have been thinking during the day, or problems that you want to solve, usually you dream about them, or you certainly wake up and usually you go and make your coffee, tea, or whatever you drink, and you start thinking, okay, I have to go to work, I have to do this. You start associating your thoughts with people and circumstances of the past, and what this creates is the same habits of thoughts. And because of the same habits of thoughts, the same repetition of thoughts does create not only your personality, but therefore it creates your personal reality. So if you never change your thoughts, if you never change the habits of being yourself, those patterns that you keep thinking, and you don't start thinking greater than how you feel, most likely your future is very predictable. So instead of living in a multiverse, instead of opening yourself up to the infinite possibilities that you can experience in your life, by doing this, you are living a line where this is the past, this is what you know, your thoughts are coming from the past, and therefore your future is predictable. Because if you don't change the habits habits of being yourself, if you don't change those pattern of thoughts and therefore affect your personality in a way or another, you cannot affect your personal reality. Why? Again, because reality is a mirror of you. Reality is a mirror of your states of consciousness. What is a state of consciousness? A state of consciousness is nothing but thoughts and thoughts that you keep repeating that become assumption slash beliefs, and therefore affect your personality. So we will say that habits of thoughts could be you wake up in the day, you always do the same sort of action because your actions are directed by your thoughts. Therefore, you keep thinking the same thoughts, and then you conclude, this is who I am, this is my personality. No, this is not who you are. Who you are is a spiritual being having a human experience. Whatever your ego is doing is just rearranging thoughts of the past that have become an assumption, and you believe that those assumptions, those beliefs are who you are. Now, if you have assumptions that greatly serve you, absolutely be yourself. And there is truth in just remaining yourself, because every soul has, every spiritual being has a unique blueprint, tendencies, passions, and talents that we possess. However, you can shape that personality at any given time, because the ego is really an illusion in that sense, and you're just a character playing in the movie called life. So what is this game changer? Is to think greater than how you feel. So when you wake up in the morning, my suggestion when you want to manifest something is to do some unusual action. For instance, unusual action in order to change and speed things up in manifestation could be something simple as the new version of me that feels greater, or actually thinks greater than how I presently feel because of my present circumstances, doesn't take coffee in the side of the sofa. My new me, the version of me that in the multiverse has everything that I want, takes a coffee in the opposite side of the sofa. And that little action, that little unusual action might trigger your brain to start thinking differently. Or perhaps the healthiest and beautiful version of me goes and take a walk every single day, 30 minutes a day. Let's say you want to manifest a physical appearance change, you want to slim down, you want to build on muscle, or you just want to feel more beautiful. Having a walk 30 minutes a day, which is an unusual action, might trigger your brain to believe that you already are the person that you want to be, and therefore manifesting that ideal weight in a snap. Now, are action necessarily required to manifestation? Not necessarily. Sure, you can intend and assume, but why do you have to make it more difficult when there are things to make it easier? And that's my type of style manifestation. I will do anything that makes my manifestation easier, even though I know that I can simply sit down and meditate and intend and see my ideal reality. I've been doing that before, that works. But if I have something that allows me to make it easier and make it faster, God damn it, if I will do it, I'll definitely will do it. So I give you another example of thinking greater than how you feel. And this also affects like specific people, by the way. And I've been doing this consistently. I hope my SP doesn't watch this video. But here's the thing, it's so crazy like how I master this stuff and how I'm confident about what I'm teaching. No, I mean, if it doesn't resonate with you, you do you, and you always do you. You have your own way of manifesting, and by no means I own all the truth in the universe. But let me share my story so maybe you can get inspired, because I'm very confident about what I'm saying. So here's the thing. I am in London, and it's something that I manifested and that I wanted. But you guys, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know how mental I am. I change my mind every single second. I get bored super easily, and it is what it is. I could change that if I want to, but it is what it is. I'm okay. It brings my life a lot of adventures, and I love it. So I've been in London for a while, and then I don't know, the weather. I love the city, but you know, I miss my apartment. I miss Italy. I love Italy. It's such a beautiful country. So I just decided that I wanted to manifest to just go back home with the love of my life, with my SP, with my boyfriend. Now, obviously, I didn't even talk about it that much, because when I was talking about it, I was seeing that it was like pushing my inner intention into him, and it's like was forcing things to happen or trying to make him think what I was thinking, and that never ever works when you want to push 3D circumstances. So, and he was a little bit stubborn, justifiably, because obviously he's got his life over here, he's got his job, he's got his career. I mean, my specific person, my boyfriend, he's a sweetheart, so he's always open. He's doing he treats me like a queen. So by no means he was stubborn in the sense like, oh my god, no, fuck you, or oops, or anything like that. Like, but obviously he had his own reason or why he wanted to stay in the city. So, you know, I didn't do anything. I didn't try to manipulate or change his mind, anything as such. I just went back to my own imagination, and I started thinking greater than how I felt. So instead of focusing on all the reason why I want to go back home, all the reason why I prefer to live in Italy, and all the reason why I might not like that much living in England, I started focusing first on gratitude. I am so grateful that I manifested the relationship I always wanted. I am so grateful of the house that keeps me warm. I am so grateful of the opportunity of being here. I'm so grateful for my pets. So first and foremost, I put myself and I started thinking greater than how I felt through acts of gratitude. After I felt a little bit better about the overall situation, and in terms of action, I started doing everything that I could to think greater than how I was feeling, like focusing on my video, focusing on work, seeing my friends, doing anything that made me feel a little bit better and thinking greater than how I feel. Then in my mind, I started I will say, have an inner conversation, affirming and visualizing that indeed I was walking the street of Italy, that indeed we were so happy together. He could find the perfect job over there, and we just have our family next to each other. We are having amazing traveling and trip because, and we live in my beautiful apartment, and I started walking down the street of London like I was in Italy, and I was happy about it. And I was just saying, you know, my world takes care of me. I will be fine no matter what. And I always get what I want. I don't need to change anyone's mind. Everything will just work out. I'm focused on the solution. I am thinking greater than how I feel. Check this out. What happens was, then during the weeks, he came to me out of like his own thing. We started talking about where we want to live and how things, and he said, oh, you know what? Actually, I was just on LinkedIn the other day, and I found that for my job, the kind of job that I do, I could do so many jobs in Milano. So if you want, we could totally go back to Italy, and that will be so good for this, and this reason. I didn't have to push this man, this amazing man, to convert his thoughts or anything of that. I was focused on the ending goal. I was focusing on what I wanted, what I feel was best for me and for the relationship and for the future, and I just saw myself in the end. Instead of complaining about my present circumstances, I started thinking greater than how I felt. And every single time, and therefore, he changed his mind, or the perfect circumstances came about for me to manifest the reality that I wanted. And this is just a single example of how easy it can be and how fast it can be. And I did this with so many things. I did the same when I wanted to be in London. I did the same exact thing. And you might think like, she's mental. She's changing her mind all the time. I know, but I'm solid about certain things. Don't worry. Anyway, it's fine. But it doesn't matter. You can change your mind anytime. This is your reality. You can do whatever you want. I did the same when I wanted to manifest my apartment. I did the same when it comes down to money. I did the same when it comes down to visualization, virality on YouTube or social media. You have to think greater than how you feel, because how you're feeling is just guiding you to check your thoughts. You feel in a certain way because somehow, some way, you keep thinking the same thought and you keep identifying to the old version of you that had those present circumstances. But the future can always change, and the future is determined by your present thoughts, by your present action even, by your present behaviors and state of consciousness. So guys, if you can just understand this, manifestation will become crazy and scary fast for you. And you will have a mastery of your own reality without controlling anything. If you don't like your present circumstances for SP, money, love, whatever it is, start thinking greater than how you feel. Start identify with a version of you that doesn't even give a damn about the present circumstances, because that version of you doesn't even leave them. And it's all about the mind. It's all in the mind, and everything, the mirror will just unfold and unravel for you in front of your eyes in mysterious but yet magical ways. I promise it's this easy. So like I said, unusual action. And by the way, I made a video on Patreon about unusual actions to trigger the mind, to spice things up and speed up the manifestation. But like I said, start thinking greater than how you feel. Because if you just think thoughts from the past, you know where the future is heading. You just know, because your thoughts create your reality. So even if you don't like whatever you're seeing, if you're just going to have the courage to assume something greater, if you have the courage to assume and think, it doesn't matter, my world takes care of me. And you can even go general. This is the crazy magical thing about manifestation, that if you get very stressed out about controlling, or you get exhausted of affirming and you don't want to control every specific aspect, by the way, I made a video on don't mess with the middle. You can do like I do. You can go very general, and yes, you can visualize or affirm for your ending goal, but then you can go general with your affirmation and just simply say, you know what? I know that my world takes care of me, and I know that where I want to be or what I want is gonna come to me in magical and perfect ways. Now, this affirmation sounds so general, and it is a little bit scary because it implies that you're letting go a little bit of control and you might not know what is gonna happen. But trust me, if you affirm this, it's always going to work. It's this easy, because you're literally saying with your affirmation that you're gonna get no matter what it is that you want, and it's gonna come to you in magical and graceful ways, or in perfect ways. So by saying that, your subconscious will absolutely think, oh yeah, she or he or they will get what they want 100%, and it will start unraveling in beautiful ways your manifestation. So yet again, do not look too much at the present circumstances. You have control over your thoughts. You can guide them, and start thinking greater than how you feel. And the more you practice this, the more your state of consciousness will change. You will identify with the new version of you. Therefore, you will become the version of you that already has what you want, and boom, manifestation will come into fruition. It's really that easy. And affirmation, scripting, visualization, all this stuff are just tools to help you enter that state of consciousness. But sometimes it is a lot easier than that. Sometimes it's just about thinking greater than how you feel. Even go a little bit general with your affirmation, and boom, that will do the trick. That will do the trick. So my take is everything works. Really, everything works. There is evidence to support all theories, but make it easy. Make it easy. And if there is a way to make it easier, do it, or at least try it. Okay, you guys, I hope this video resonated with you and it made sense. Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe, hit the ring bell button to always be notified about my new videos, and I see you very soon on this channel as well as on Patreon. Bye!